Good morning and welcome to Ask Alan. I'm Alan Crone, the CEO of the Crone Law Firm. And today, as you can tell, regular viewers of this program know that I was not going to be in my office today or even in Memphis. And so the location is Chattanooga. I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm here with my son who is undergoing a little medical procedure, hopefully nothing very serious, but we had to travel here to do it. He was scheduled for this procedure before the pandemic, and now they've opened up, and so he's back here to do that, and I'm here with him. And so I'm bringing you Ask Alan from a Airbnb in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I've got a couple of Chattanooga-related questions that I've been submitted, and Bobby in Collierville wants to know who was better, Isaac Bruce or Terrell Owens. Many of you may know Terrell Owens is an alumni of University of Tennessee Chattanooga. He played football here and went on to be a great NFL star, as did Isaac Bruce, who played for Memphis. And so let's talk about that for a second. Of course, being a Tiger fan myself, and a University of Memphis graduate with 2 degrees from the University of Memphis, Memphis State, in political science and law. I'm partial to Isaac Bruce. I watched him play for the Tigers. I watched him play for the Rams and enjoyed every minute of it. So let's look at the numbers. The numbers. It's close, but it would seem to indicate Terrell Owens. Isaac Bruce had 1,028 receptions in his career, NFL career. Terrell Owens had 1,078, so 50 more. Still pretty close. Yards, Isaac Bruce had 15,208 receiving yards, and Terrell Owens had 15,934. Again, a narrow edge to Terrell Owens, but to be fair, edge to him. And then in touchdowns, pretty wide discrepant gulf here. Isaac Bruce with 91 and Terrell Owens with 153 career touchdowns. So those are the numbers. And then both are members of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Isaac Bruce is a 4-time Pro Bowler. Terrell Owens is a 6-time Pro Bowler. Terrell Owens was a 5-time All-Pro, and this may be the separator for some of you, rings. Isaac Bruce has a ring, a Super Bowl ring, and Terrell Owens does not. No Super Bowl ring. So I'll let you be the judge of that. I may be a little too close to it. With all due respect to Terrell Owens, I got to go with Isaac Bruce because A, he's a Tiger, and B, he won the big one. So let's go to a legal question. This was submitted by Francis from Midtown. I've got a non-compete agreement with my employer. Is it enforceable? That's a great question. I get that question all the time, and I'm going to give you a great lawyer's answer. It depends. Depends on a lot of things. It depends on whether or not the company has a compelling business interest in enforcing that agreement. It depends on whether the agreement in scope and force is reasonable, and it depends on what state you're trying to enforce the agreement in as well. Generally speaking, to be enforceable, a provision of a non-compete agreement has to be reasonable to enforce a compelling business interest. And that's usually customer relationships or some sort of intellectual property. Maybe it's a process, maybe it's a recipe, maybe the person has a possession of certain information that would make it give that person an unfair competitive advantage because they had worked at the previous employer. So a lot of that is going to go into place. And what I tell companies when they're drafting these is you want to be very customized in drafting them. You don't just want to pull on off the internet and think you've got a good non-compete. State laws vary, but B, your particular situation varies. And so what you want to do is figure out, okay, what is it that a former employee can do to hurt me, and how can I, in an enforceable way, keep that from happening. And sometimes just a blanket non-compete, courts are going to be very reluctant to enforce that, but most courts will be very comfortable selectively enforcing maybe a non-solicitation of customer provision, where a particular salesman can't go do business with people that they did business with at the former employer. They may be able to compete for new customers, but maybe not for old customers. So that's the answer. It depends. Generally speaking, they're not as enforceable as you think. But on the other side of that, one of the biggest curses I can put on someone is, may you have a defense to a lawsuit, because defending these cases can also be very, very expensive. So you want to be careful with them. And if you think that you might have an issue, you really ought to go see an attorney about it. All right. And then our last question is really from me, and that is, what's up with the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga's mascot? Now, I know this because my son went through orientation. He was an orientation leader last year, so I got all kinds of information about the school, and this is interesting. Right now, the University of Chattanooga's mascot is the mock. They're called the Mocks, and for the mockingbird. And the name of the mascot is Scrappy, which I think is pretty cool because it was the nickname of the school's longest serving and most successful football coach. So I think that's really kind of cool, honoring a former coach that way. Now, they haven't always had such a solid mascot. It started out named after the Moccasin Bend in the river here. And started out as a water moccasin snake, which is kind of fierce and cool. And then it kind of morphed into an Indian Native American themed chief, Macanuga. And so back in the 80s, the school changed that to be more sensitive. They changed it to the moccasins, and the mascot that you saw on the sidelines was actually a shoe. It was a guy or a girl in a shoe, a moccasin, and they got kind of derided for that. So that's when they changed over to the Mocks and the Mockingbird and Scrappy. So that's kind of cool. Again, this is Alan Crone on Ask Alan. I hope you're enjoying these things. Give me some feedback. Let me know if you like it. If you like the segment, you can email me at Alan Crone, ALANCRONE 8688 at gmail.com. That's Alan Crone 8688 at gmail.com. And email me and let me know if you like the questions, if you don't like these questions, if you'd like a different format, or please comment below if you're seeing this on social media and send us a question, or email us a question at Alan Crone 8688 at gmail.com. I've enjoyed this. I hope to be back in Memphis very, very soon. And please, if you're inclined to, please say a prayer for my son that he does well in his surgery. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And have a good day. I'm going to go out and get some